I like it.
But hey, can we talk about Centigrade a little bit, you guys?
I want to. Let's do it. Go for it. I mean, I got to see your film.
Did you come to the screening? I can't remember if you
did. I did. I got to see the screening with the group. Sarah is actually you watched it yesterday?
Yeah.
The short?
It was great. Yeah. It was great. I was blown away.
Basically, in a nutshell, we made this short as a proof of concept for a feature film that we wanted to do. And this is going back a little bit. And it called Centigrade, and we put it out there in the festival circuit and it won tons and tons and tons of awards. MGM ended up actually picking it up as a TV series. They went through a financial restructuring and everything went off the table. We got the rights back. And then this happened and that happened, and I booked Falling Skies and things happened. And then I woke up one day and it was like, hey man, we still haven't done this. And it was important to do then, it's important to do now. So we've decided we're just gonna do it. So we decided to fan fund it, I hate the word crowdfunding, because it's like, it's not a crowd that makes these things happen. It's people with purpose and fans.
Yeah,
and
it's not an anonymous crowd.
Yeah, totally. So we decided to do this thing. So we're trying to basically raise a budget of $150,000. And we've been talking to some professional entities as well. And who knows, if with a bit of luck, the budget may jump to 1.2, 1.3 million. But the point is, we're going to make this thing happen. So we've started up the website called Centigrade Rising. You can also get to it by centigrademovie.com. We elaborated on the name a little bit because there's another movie out there, believe it or not, called Centigrade, which is a couple of people stuck in a car in the snow. I got to watch it actually, but I should watch it. But this is Centigrade Rising, and it basically, the movie in a nutshell is karma comes rolling into town, and it's personified by a big black pickup truck. And when karma rolls into town, it accelerates the karma of whoever and whatever it comes into contact with. And it happens to come into contact with 4 or 5 people that did a bad thing 10, 12 years ago, and they get their comeuppance accordingly. So for those that are familiar with Centigrade, Centigrade was about a man who lives in an old busted up camper trailer. There's no wheels on it. It's laying dead in the weeds, and he does a bad thing. And he wakes up the next morning and it's rolling down the highway, and the doors won't open and the windows won't break, and he's burning up. It's getting hotter and hotter. So what happens? So that's basically it. So we decided just to reach out to the fan community, specifically the Stargate fans have always been so unbelievably generous and gracious and just like amazing. I've consistently just been blown away at the caliber of fan. You know, I don't know if there's some shows that have horrible fans. It's like rock bands, you know what I mean? You'll go, some rock bands have the worst fans. They're always dudes smashing shit and spray painting crap. And, you know, you'll never go to some beautiful canyon somewhere with a waterfall and it says somebody spray painted Barry Manilow rules. You know, it doesn't happen, right? And Stargate fans are the best fans of any show on the planet. So we thought, hey man, let's reach out direct to them, or some of the other fans of the shows that I've done, but also to Stargate, because you can be a part of this thing. It's not just a fan funding thing. It's like you can actually take part. Well, it is, but how we look at it is you can take part in actually making a movie. You know, and there's a donation button. You can donate on the website, $1, $5, $10 and up. You can become a producer on the project. In addition to the perks and scripts and things that we'll sign off and send off. It's also, you know, you can get a credit, like, and maybe even come out to the set and become a part of something that's cool, because we're making a movie. We've got a story that we believe in, and we're gonna shoot a badass movie. So we thought, hey, let's open it up. And so that's basically what we've begun. So we've created the website, centigraderising.com, and there's more information on there. And if you can help us out, great. And if you can't, hey, don't sweat it. That's all good too. You know, there's the Christmas is coming up. If you see somebody standing out there with a red kettle, you know, maybe they're more deserving of it than I am. But if you want to make a movie, hey, come on board and we can do something together. As
someone who knows the struggle of trying to get an indie feature film made, I highly recommend helping out. We chatted a little bit in Salt Lake City. I just finished directing my first feature film. and we crowdfunded it as well. And
Amazing, Rebecca.
it's a massive hustle though. And I know you guys are all, going through that right now too, but it's just the constant hustle trying to get together what you can, and to be able to respect and do for everybody who's working on the project what they deserve. So like for us, it was majorly that we didn't want to, we wanted to be able to pay people for what they were doing for us. And that was the most important thing for us, because my creative partner and I made plenty of films back in the day, but the shorts and whatnot that people just volunteered their time. But we were like, no, this is really important. We want to be able to do this for people. So, but trying to get it all together is such a hustle.
Yeah. No,
it's
and it's funny.
hustle.
If you knew what it took, you'd never do it. You'd never do it. Nobody's that stupid. So you have to be there's this profound ignorance that comes with making movies, because you wouldn't do it if you knew what it was going to take. And that's the beauty of not knowing, because you get to define impossibility. You're going to discover what impossible is, because you don't even know where the boundary is yet. It's a lot harder to make your second movie than it is your first, because
don't tell me that.
Well, in many ways it's true, because you've had your ass beat to a pulp on the first one. You've had your ass kicked, and it's tough to show up for that second one, or at least you want more money, so then you spend more time on money so you can pay more people. But it's tough, man. It's tough. I remember it was Brian Grazer, Ron Howard's producing partner, and they had the success with a movie called Splash with Daryl Hannah. And that was a huge hit. And it still took him, I think, 5 years to make his next one. He couldn't get the money. You just had a hit with Daryl Hannah, man. Still, it was like pulling teeth, just trying to get the next one going. Yeah. So it's difficult, but hey, it's worth it, right? It's good.
Absolutely. So where did the inspiration for this film, like, where did it originally come from? What made you to say, I need to tell this story? Like,
well, the idea of a guy, living in a trailer and then waking up the next morning and it's moving was, I thought, hey, that's kind of cool. There might be something there. And interestingly enough, the feature idea, there's been like 6 of them, because we also had a low budget production company that was interested. And they said, well, it's a little too cerebral right now. And I said, well, what do you guys do? And they said, well, we like action movies. So we need like Die Hard on the Road. I'm like, okay. So we wrote a Die Hard on the Road version. And then another one said, no, I like more of a Twilight Zone-y kind of thing. So it was like more of a Twilight Zone-y thing. So, but look, I've always been a big fan of the Black Mirror, of the thriller genre. Not necessarily, the sci-fi is good, but if you add the thriller to the sci-fi, the Rod Serling stuff. And have you ever seen you should see his interview with, is it Dan Rather? No, it's not Dan Rather. Who the hell was it? Oh, goodness. It'll come to me. But he did this. It's so funny. He was known for Rod Serling doing these social commentary plays on prejudice and blah, 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 and a lot of stuff at the time that was kind of taboo. And he was right there. And he got into so much flack for it. And he ended up doing this show he was producing or coming up with called The Twilight Zone. And they said, well, is this more social commentary? And he lies so bad. He said, there's no social commentary whatsoever. It's pure sci-fi. It's pure fantasy. There's no social commentary whatsoever in it. And he says that with a straight face. And boy, he just lies through his teeth, because there was nothing more charged and than the Twilight Zone. I mean, they went at everything, man. So it's fun to take a genre like sci-fi and to examine, like you were saying, through it, whether it be a modern lens or an older lens, or, because modern, that's going to be over 30 years from now, it'll be a whole other thing again.
Correct.
So, but it's great. It's you're able to take this genre and see today in it, you know what I mean? And apply decisions that need to be made and do the right thing. So in many ways, that's what Centigrade Rising is about. It's about not so much when you do the right thing, the good that happens. It's when you do the bad thing and nobody even saw you do it. Is there a payback? Did something see it? Was it registered somewhere? Is there
Whoa.
a karmic something? You got away with it, man. Nobody saw nothing. But does that mean you really got away with it? Maybe there's something else that will come to visit one day, you know, whether your own personal karma or whatever. Things come full circle. So that's what the feature film will explore.
I can tell you from watching the short film, in and of itself, it was a beautiful piece of film. I was so entranced with it, but then I'm like, I want more. I want to know like who was pulling the trailer? Why were they? It kind of felt like there were elements of like some type of supernatural elements in there of like he couldn't escape. Why not? Like he took a baseball bat to the window and couldn't get out. Why not? So I was left wanting more. Like I want to know more of the story of what exactly is going on, and I'm ready for the full movie for sure.
He gets out and he befriends a golden retriever and he inherits an all-girl basketball team and they go to the championship and win. That's what happened.
Well, that's a twist we're not expecting. I with that short, I think so the camera work is very impressive to me in that tight space. I was very impressed with how it looks that way. And also, like Sarah says, it's like what is happening. To me, it felt kind of like a purgatory that he was going to in some ways. Really compelling imagery, basically, in that. So I think we all want to help make this happen.
Thanks.
And you looked like I could feel your misery of like the heat and like trying to escape in this helplessness but anger, and I could feel that coming through. You did a great job. It was amazing.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.